Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to join our webinar Asia Pacific OSH practice number 3. Glad to see you again. I'm Engineer Dr. CM Ho from Hong Kong. Started from April 2020, the WAPOSHP is being conducted on the first Saturday every month. The COVID-19 pandemic will not stop us from crossing the geographical limitations to meet together. It is the boundless platform to share with industrial practitioners on OSH professions and experience. The aims of this webinar event is to stimulate dialogue on the importance of ensuring safety and health at work, not only to protect the life of workers, but also to ensure business continuity. Let's march forward to Industry 4.0. There are 400 participants joining the webinar today. They are from Malaysia, Singapore, Hong Kong, Australia, India, Philippines, Korea, Bangladesh, UK, Indonesia, Thailand, Macau, and so on. As advised by the Malaysian and Singapore authorities, starting from today, our webinar is extended from 2 hours to around 4 hours in order to claim the CEP of DOS, Malaysia, and CCD of CIDB, Singapore. My partner, KK will further elaborate later in the webinar the status of the official CEP and CCD and the issuance of your attendance certificate. On behalf of Social Resources Development Institute and SHEA Academy and Consultancy, we appreciate very much the Dr. Ghana and all the co-organizers supporting organizations for your greatest support. They are Malaysian Occupational Safety and Health Practitioners Associations, Institutions of Occupational Health and Safety, Singapore branch, UCSI University, Malaysia, the Hong Kong Institute of Color of Works, the Hong Kong Development Professionals Association, International Powered Assets Federations, World of Safety and Health Asia, Macau University of Science and Technology School of Liberal Arts, Hong Kong Institution of Engineer Safety Specialist Committee, Authorized Secretary and Technical Director Society of Hong Kong, Material Tech Company Limited. Today, we are pleased to have 4 industrial leaders to share with us their experience and achievement in the safety and health professions. This is a warm reminder to all our fellow participants today. Please switch off or mute your microphone when the speech is in progress. There is a Q&A time in each section. You are welcome to text your questions in the chat room or simply switch on your microphone to raise your questions in the Q&A time. For those who have applied a certificate, please do show your name every hour on the chat room to prove your attendance. You know, we have extended our webinar from 2 hours to 4 hours. We have to conduct some control measures to prove your attendance. So please do show your name every hour in the chat room, so we will record your attendance to issue you a certificate if you have already applied it. By the way, if you haven't applied a certificate but you want to obtain one now, no worry. Please know your name in the chat room to prove your attendance every hour and contact our administrative office next week. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's start our webinar. May I pass the microphone to my partner, Mr. KK in Kuala Lumpur. KK, please.
All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Midlim Chengkai. You can call me Mr. CK. So I'll be taking over and representing SHEA Academic today. So as for today, before I go to pass on to the first speaker, so I'd like to take a glance on the program today. So our program started at 9:30, 10 o'clock with our professional networking, and then with our welcome speech by our Commandant IR, Dr. CM Ho, and followed by the first speaker, yeah, which is from Malaysia, IR Zailee Bin Dollah, Deputy Director General of Department of Occupational Safety and Health, Malaysia. He will be presenting on new normal and Malaysia OSH best practice, soul help, and inclusive 35 minutes of presentation is inclusive of 5 minutes of Q&A sessions. Whereas followed by Professor Wong Chi-Mei. She is an appointed professor of UNESCO, the directors of Hong Kong FTU Retraining Center. So she will be presenting to us on the topic of what the labor union can do in the promotions of OSH. That the third speaker will be Mr. Jacky Leung Ka Wa. He is a NDT Technical Manager, Material Tech Coal Ltd. So he'll be presenting on occupational safety for non-destructive tests, NDT, of radiography testing. And the last speaker will be from Singapore, Mr. Zephan Chan Yu Yun. He is a Director of Operations Institute of Occupational Medicine of Singapore, and he is also executive committee member of IOSH Singapore branch. And he will be presenting to us on the new norm, working from home. And lastly, we will have the public forum where we will have a sharing forum open to the floor. Whoever wanted to share their opinion, ideas, or whoever wanted to raise any questions in related to the slides or presentations, they may do so within that half an hour. Then lastly will be our closing remark, which take about 10 minutes. So we will end our sessions is around 1:15 in the afternoon. All right. So we will appreciate you remain with us all throughout all the sessions, and we shall welcome the first speaker now. Without further ado, let me welcome IR Zailee Bin Dollah, Deputy Director General of OSH Malaysia, under Occupational Safety and Health Divisions. So he will be presenting to us on new normal and Malaysia's OSH best practice. So let's welcome IR Zailee.
Thank you, Mr. CK. Dato Kana, the President of MOSHPA, Engineer Dr. Sam Ho, the Principal of SRDI, Mr. KK Shi, CEO of the SHEA Academy, and ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning and salam sejahtera. So, first and foremost, I would like to extend my gratitude to the organizing committee who has given me the opportunity to deliver a keynote address in Asia Pacific OSH Practice number 3 webinar. Allow me to congratulate the committee for organizing a great and important event pertaining the OSH in the workplace in Asia Pacific region, and your effort in making sure this event runs smoothly is very much appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, and all we are aware that COVID-19 pandemics happen to every corner of the world, and to prevent and control the spread of the virus, the government from each country must take a drastic action to ensure the safety and health of the citizens. For example, here in Malaysia, the government enforced movement control order since 18th of March 2020. This brings to the closure of almost all economic sectors, with the exception to the essential services. To those who are affected, they cannot come to work and they can work from home. But for those who are in the essential services, they must come to the office or business premises under certain conditions to prevent COVID-19 spread. And the order basically eventually loosened up on the 4th of May 2020, where majorities of economic sectors can conduct business as usual, but specific standard operating procedures must be followed. And these SOPs were produced by the Prime Minister's Department to all relevant sectors. Therefore, under these SOPs, the new normal was introduced. Even though business can run as usual, certain criteria must be met. For example, employers or owner must ensure all persons in the premises undergo symptom screening before coming to work, record body temperatures, mind social distancing, and if necessary, to undertake the health screening. As for the enforcement bodies such as DOSH, our existing activities must be altered to suit the new normal. We have introduced so many initiatives to assist our client in ensuring the health and safety of employees and other persons in the premises as stipulated in the Section 15 of the Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994. The concept of self-regulation has been emphasized to the employers and owners. Therefore, as for today, I would like to share with you one program introduced by DOSH to the employers in enhancing the occupational health standard at the workplace, so-called SOHEP. Ladies and gentlemen, SOHEP in short, or Systematic Occupational Health Enhancement Level Program, is the new initiative introduced in OSH Master Plan OSH MP 2020 to enhance occupational health standard at the workplace. The ideas of SOHEP came out in 2016 as a result of poor compliance of industrial hygiene related regulation in certain type of industry, especially among the SMEs. Furthermore, numbers of diseases, numbers of reported cases of occupational diseases related to chemical exposure, noise-induced hearing loss, and ergonomic-related issues were arising from 2005 to 2015, as indicated in the slide. Therefore, SOHEP was designed to assist the industries to solve this issue. And the objective of the SOHEP, basically number one, to enhance occupational hygiene standard at the workplace. Secondly, to improve the compliance to occupational health related regulation among the industries. And thirdly, to promote self-regulation program at the workplace. And finally, to promote action-oriented activities at the workplace. Ladies and gentlemen, to achieve this objective, SOHEP was integrated in the OSH MP 2020 and planned for 4 phases in the implementation and started since 2016. A total of 1,000 workplaces are targeted to participate in this program. This year will be the final year of SOHEP, and I would like to share some success stories with all of you today. Ladies and gentlemen, let's discuss how the SOHEP methodology is being implemented. SOHEP divided into 3 modules known as checkpoint. They are chemical, noise, and ergonomic checkpoint. Each module consists of 5 levels to mark their current compliance level. Level 1 is known as entry level, followed by basic level, level 2, intermediate level, level 3, advanced level, level 4, and finally excellent level, level 5. And each level contains several criteria and checklists that the workplace need to follow to assure compliance. In general, level 1 is the commitment from the workplace to participate in the program. And level 2 is the general clause of the regulation. And level 3 is the risk assessment. Level 4 is concerned on risk control. And level 5 is basically on continuous improvement. Ladies and gentlemen, initially participating workplace must conduct self-assessment to determine which level they are at. The assessment will be carried out by the competent persons of the company, such as safety and health officers, chemical health risk assessment assessor, occupational health doctors, and others. And then DOSH officer will come to verify the assessment as well as to see the proof of compliance. The lowest level among the 3 checkpoints will be taken as the overall level of that workplace. For example, company ABC got level 4 for chemical and noise checkpoint, but for ergonomic checkpoint, the score is level 2. Therefore, overall level for company ABC will be level 2 to start off the program. To encourage commitment and participation to the program, Continuous Education Program CEP form will be rewarded to the competent person at the end of the year based on the level achieved by the workplace. Level 5 will get 10 points, level 4 will get 8 points, and level 3 will get 5 points, and no point will be awarded to level 1 and level 2. Due to the positive reception from the industries and the competent person. In 2018, DOSH introduced another approach of SOHAP, so-called SOHAP DIY, SOHAP do it yourself, in the phase 4. So in SOHAP DIY, any interested party can join SOHAP and conduct their own assessment, and verification will be conducted by OSH competent person who had participated in SOHAP in the previous year, as well as by the pool of DOSH officers. And training and coaching will be carried out by the competent person and DOSH. And progress must be submitted to DOSH through the online link provided in the DOSH portal for the verification. And DOSH will conduct on-site verification at randomly selected workplaces. Ladies and gentlemen, let's look at what is the SOHAP achievement. Throughout the year of implementing SOHAP, DOSH received very positive feedback from the industry because they see the benefit of the program. Up to this year, 763 workplaces had participated in the SOHAP, and another 753 workplaces had participated in SOHAP DIY. Therefore, a total of 1,516 workplaces had participated in SOHAP from 2016 to 2020. This is more than what we are initially targeted. And overall, each year, more than 75% of participating workplaces manage to achieve level 4 and above at the end of the program. And the numbers of OSH practitioners involved in SOHAP phase 1 to phase 3 are 1,560. Ladies and gentlemen, several workplaces showed significant improvement in the standard of occupational health management at the workplace throughout the program. Some workplaces use their creativity to produce low-cost solutions to their ongoing problem. An example of these best practices that we can share through the slide. This is among the improvement that been done by the workplaces that participated in the program. For instance, this is another improvement done for the storage of the chemical in the tank, then surrounded by the band being provided just to confine any chemical leakage or chemical spillage. And it is another improvement, motor pumps, which had been put in full cover to avoid any unintended damage by any passers-by or anything that moving around within the areas. And this is another improvement on the chemical improvement, where initially the waste chemical being put in the open space, and then improve where the designated area for the chemical waste chemical is stored there. And this is basically another improvement for the noise reduce initiative, where the motor and the transmission areas or transmission system of the machine being fully covered, isolated, just to confine the noise emitted from the system, from the machine. And it is another improvement, just a simple improvement where they put in they replace with the proper soundproof door, which is initially just a normal door, and then they change or they improve the door for the better design and use of better materials. And then this is another good example for good management of PPE. Okay. This is the areas of ergonomic improvement, where we can see the improvement done on the material handling with having the adjustable platforms. This is another improvement where the you can see initially the feeding to the system been done by manual and finally changed to the mechanized for feeding to the process. This is another improvement on the material handling. Okay, that are basically the a few best practices of a few solution of control, that a simple solution but being done by the those workplaces that participated in the program. Ladies and gentlemen, to appreciate their effort, those DOSH organized SWAHAP convention for the selected workplaces to share their experiences with others. Our DOSH state officers will nominate best 3 workplaces to represent their state. A special committee in the HQ will select and 1 representative from each state based on their achievement and best practices for the solution and control. And furthermore, SWAHAP will be integrated into OSH modules such as SHEA training, SSR training, OHD training, and hearing conservation program training in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, possible execution of SWAHAP under new normal. Based on the current situation where our resources and movement are limited, I think SWAHAP will be a good initiative under new normal to ensure the safety and health of the employees. In the current situation, DOSH cannot conduct routine inspection and audit as usual. So by implementing SWAHAP at the workplace, OSH competent person or safety health officers can conduct their own assessment through SWAHAP. If they need to get advice or guidance from DOSH, online coaching can be conducted whether in a group or with the individual company. So by doing so, we can continue our business activities as usual under the new normal. This program has potential to be expanded to include occupational safety element to make it complete as well in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, DOSH is open to any new ideas and possibilities from all stakeholders in ensuring the safety and health of the employees and other persons that may be affected from business activities. As a conclusion, it is always my hope that to see that we can strive together and overcome the obstacle caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Like it or not, even though we can control the spread of the disease, it will take time for us to return to our normal routines. And we must adapt the new normal without sacrificing our interest in intention to create a safe and healthy workplace. Therefore, the responsible are on the shoulders of our employees, employer, and government. Before I end my speech, I would like to again express my gratitude to all committees involved in making this event successful. Thank you very much. And I open for any question that we can share.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please switch on your mic and then ask your questions to the speaker. You may do so.
Engineer Zailee, yeah,
Yep.
I have a questions.
Yep.
Well, you know, you and me, you and I are engineers.
Yep.
We have registered safety officer, supervisor in Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, Macau, and most countries. We have registered safety practitioners. So what is our role of an engineer in safety and health issue? Is there any, is it overlapping with a safety practitioner in workplace?
Okay, in as far as OSH is concerned and OSH areas, when we used to say that those people involved in this OSH activity, they are called basically OSH practitioner, right? So their concern are basically dealing with anything related to occupational safety and health of at the workplace. For any activity, for any process, anything related to activity that will affect the safety and health of the workers. So as an engineer, this is another what we call advantage. And the best solution for any of the OSH issue is an engineering solution. So as an engineer, I'm very sure that you will have a very good exposure and very good ideas to come up with all those solutions. The best is the priority basically probably will be focusing on the engineering control, which is you are capable of doing that. I don't see any overlapping the engineers or the OSH practitioner can also come be an engineer, professional engineer basically.
Thank you.
You agree with my idea, Mr. Doctor?
Well, do you think that a safety practitioners shall actually involve in production management? rather than the gift advisory only?
Safety is basically need to be integrated in all level of activities. So no matter in production management or in production or whatever, safety is always integrated, and the input from these people are very important. To ensure the what we call this the process or the production is going on without any interruption, especially related to the accident.
So, shall an engineer manage a safety practitioner, or a safety practitioner to manage a team of engineers? So who is the boss?
Everyone is basically the boss. We are leaders.
Yeah.
We are even leaders in our home, our own home house. So we have to be, you know, because either you are OSH practitioner or you are engineers, doesn't matter where. The most important thing is what the assignment will assign to you. So it is basically, when we talk about the safety and health, we used to say these people or those people who look after the OSH issue is basically OSH practitioner. And many of them basically, they are the engineer as well.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I think the engineers and the safety and health professional doing generalists, they contribute very different things. One example that I could think of is many years ago, when we first designed safety harnesses and anchor point. Of course, we need engineer to calculate, professional engineer to calculate the design and everything. But the very initial design by engineer only consider load, right? So as long as the harness can hold the load, doesn't let it free fall to the ground, they think that it's safe enough. But it was quite a failure because we forgot that you are hanging a human. Even if you can hold a human there dangling, the physiology of the human may not be able to take that force.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think the engineer comes in with very good knowledge on calculating certain things, but the generalist, health and safety professional, physiology, doctors also come in to add in and come as a team to come up with a good solution.
Yeah, Zephan, I agree with that, because when you talk about the control, prevention, the principle of prevention of the accident, it's not only one discipline. It will cover many areas of discipline. It covers about all those engineering, it covers about the medical issues, about the ergonomic issues. So it's not just a one-man show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you need to somehow have some technical knowledge in actually giving advice. So,
but as an engineer, if you the OSH practitioner, it's quite easy for you to understand the issues.
Exactly. So Zephan has given a very strong point where in order to be a good advisor, you need to be technically strong as well. So in other words, correct? So is there any other questions from the floor? Actually, from the slide sharing by Zailee, so we very appreciate that, and basically it's talking about the SOHAP. SOHAP is a systematic occupational enhancement level of programs, where it's an initiative of the government to help the employer in improvement of the workplace occupational safety and health compliance related to industrial hygienes, like for instance, usage of chemicals, noise, and the ergonomic issues. So we have seen some examples which have been shown by by Zailee just now. So we have seen quite numbers of achievement done, with the photos of before, after, and the implementations of SOHAP. With that, we believe that the industrial OSH practice or industrial OSH performance could be, bring up to enhance another level. So from there, we do see some engagement between OSH practitioner and also OSH with the local authority in order to improve the OSH of the industry.
And secondly, I think within the short period of time, I think we cannot share so much info. I think probably Kishi can share my correspondence, contact numbers. Probably anyone who would like to get more info, they can probably email.
Yeah, yeah, we do understand that. Generally, Doctor, I have given some ideas on how to implement it, and
because
also
I look at this as a very systematic program and guidance for those, especially within the SMEs groups.
Yeah. It's very good.
Don Zailee, the slide can be shared with us. I will upload to the Facebook for everyone can be shared.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
You forward to me. So I think from the ground, no any question from the group chat. Lim, I think thanks a lot for Zailee. I think everyone still mute your mic, right? They have a reaction at your bar there. Clap for Zailee. Thanks a lot for Saturday morning. Also come to our webinar. Thanks a lot, Don.
Okay.
So Lim, continue.
All right.
Thank you, Tuan.
Okay. Thanks, Dato.
Okay, so thank you, Zailee. So next we'll be welcoming Professor Wong Chi-Mei. So she'll be presenting on the topic Introduction of Union of OSH. So let's welcome Dr. Wong Chi-Mei. Doctor, Professor Wong, are you there?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, I hand over the sessions to you, so you may start your presentations.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, but the slide you have not shared your slide.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Good morning.
Thank you.
So I start now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So as I'm working for a trade union, so today my topic is about what the union do in the promotion of OSH. So I have to introduce my background first. As in Hong Kong, there are more than 1,000 unions, and in Hong Kong there are only 3.7 million working force, but there are about 1,000 unions. So it's quite complicated in Hong Kong. But I just use one union, the Hong Kong Federation of Trade Unions, to illustrate what the union do in the OSH. So the Hong Kong Federation of Trade Unions formed in 1948. Now it has 250 affiliate unions, associate unions. And the total membership is more than 400,000 membership. So I think we can say that it's the biggest union in Hong Kong. And there are other 3 union groups in Hong Kong. But just today, I just talk about the Hong Kong Federation of Trade Unions, what it do. And in fact, in 1970s to 80s, the light industry boom up in Hong Kong, such as toy making, weaving, spinning, and crop making. However, the workers had lack of occupational safety conscious in those times. So the industry accidents rates was very high, especially for the construction industry. The accident rates is more than 30%. So you can see the figure that is very serious in Hong Kong at that time. So as the Hong Kong Federation Unions has the ideology that the union is to protect the workers' rights and benefits. So the Hong Kong Federation of Trade Unions require at that time, it has set up a lot of the committees to promote different aspects of workers' rights and benefits. And especially the important one that is to promote the occupational safety and health. So it set up a committee to focus on the workers, on the workers to work concerned with OSH. And what the union do is just as mentioned before that the first one to set up a working committee to focus on OSH issues. The main terms of reference for that Occupational Health Safety Committee is to concern with the local matters of OSH, to push the amendment of the outdated OSH ordinance, and to promote OSH knowledge and awareness.
Sorry, Professor.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's a request where they ask to extend the slideshow so that we can see the full screen.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Would you mind to do that? Yeah, you just press F5 for you, I believe.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, clear. Thank you.
So,
you may proceed. Sorry for the interference.
So the main task of a Union Occupational Safety and Health Committee is, and the first one is to provide the immediate financial assistance to those injured workers. How the union get the money is by fundraising from the society, and then once when there is any occupational accidents and there is injured workers or death, and the unions will immediately give them financial assistance to them. So you can see on the pictures, those are the injured workers, and also the immediate family members to receive assistance from the union's members. So those are all the cases. And the second one is to follow the injured cases. And especially for those injured workers, they have quite a lot of the psychological barriers. So from the union, we will give the post-injury assistance to those injured workers, such as to arrange suitable medical service, to help them apply some financial assistance from other different funds. And you know, in Hong Kong, when the workers injure or any the fatal cases, and it's quite difficult for them to claim the compensations. So, and especially if they want to claim the compensation, it has to wait for 1 or 2 or 3 years. So it's quite difficult for those injured workers in this, the economic situation. So the union can do is the first one is to give them, to help them to apply some financial assistance from different funds, and also to arrange some medical service. And a lot of workers, as they do not know how to follow the cure, how to follow the medical cure. So we have the union, especially as the unions have some our clinics. So we've arranged them to see the doctors, and also arrange them to go to the appropriate government medical department to have some the cure and some remedies. And also, and after they're injured, a lot of our workers say they feel always they feel very pain, and they feel a lot of fears. So we also set up some the so-called caring groups, and also we send our psychological therapy to them. And it's quite a critical case that, especially at night, a lot of workers, the injured workers, will feel pain, and they will call our union workers and to say something, and sometimes they want to commit suicide. So our we have to call our psyche to talk to the workers, to give them some psychotherapy, and then to help them to continue to sit up and to get the further therapy, and to try to encourage them to go back to work again. And also the third one we do is to push OSH development. Say we will organize some different safety activities regularly, to organize safety talk and seminars for different NGOs and concerned groups. Say, and you can see on the pictures there, on the left one is that we organize a lawyer to talk to the workers, to let them know how to go through all the procedure of claiming the compensations. And from in the right pictures, we can see this is a restaurant. Why we go to the restaurant? That as we always organize the seminar for those catering workers, and the employers will provide the restaurant at the when they off the duty. Then we will organize the seminar groups for those restaurants workers, and it's a quite wonderful that in Hong Kong, now the first happened, the first occupational safety, occupational accidents, the rate is the highest is in restaurant, as in catering. As in the catering industry, there's a lots of the minor injuries, but always happens in the restaurant. So we always organize the seminars to the restaurants, to let them know that they have to protect themselves. And also we have to push the society to carry out some the amendment of the ordinance and the applications. And we will give talks to different seminars and workshops. Those are workshops and also schools to arouse the society to give concern to OSH. And also push the government and universities to study the occupational disease. Why we have to do that? As in the pictures you can see, we organize the activities in summer to ask them. You can see that this is the horticulture workers. We have to ask them to have the knowledge that they will get heat stroke. And also in the right picture that you can see that we go to the government to give the press conference to let the society know what the working pressures, and as the working pressures will cause lots of disease. And also in this area, I have to introduce more. And in 1980s, we also went to the university to ask them to study the death of the workers, especially in those the industry in weaving and spinning. Lots of workers, and also the shipyards, lots of workers lose their hearing abilities as the high noisity. And we asked the university to study what happened, and at NASA we have an ordinance to protect the hearing abilities for workers. And if those workers suffer the hearing loss of 50 dBs, and it can claim the compensation from government as the industry caused the hearing ability, the loss of hearing ability. So this is what the union to inquire the university and inquire the government to study more about the occupational disease. And this is what is in Chinese. So, and also we have to raise out the issues of amendment of Occupational Injury Ordinance. And I'm sorry that is in Chinese, but anyway, I introduced that. As in Hong Kong, there is a employee compensation ordinance, and we always think that the ordinance is very outdated, and we asked the government to amend the occupational injury ordinance, and then to let the workers have the proper compensation and to have the proper protection from the occupational injuries. And also, and this is I think I have to use time to explain what happened in this picture. And in Hong Kong, there is a quite as you know, everybody know in Hong Kong, all the buildings, the high-fly buildings, and especially recent in recent 10 years or 20 years, the architecture or the engineer always are concerned with the looking of the external of the buildings, but no one concerned about how to maintain how to maintain when it is when the building is built, and after how the workers go to do the cleansing work and the maintenance work. You can immerse that when you go to install air conditioner or maintain the gas tube. Then, but all the external walls there is no proper way for the workers to do the work. And even you want to install an air conditioner, and then you have to call the gondola to set up the gondola, to use the gondola, and the workers to stand up in the gondola and then use the gondola to do the installation. So we use a lot of effort to ask the government to make the ordinance to require that the external wall of the building must be in a public design, and let the workers to do the maintenance work and in the later time. So, but up to this moment, and we started the requirement. We started in 2013, and 7 years later, up to this moment, the government has started to study whether it can make it in ordinance and to ask the architecture and ask the company and the building company to have a proper external wall design. And now this I have to say more about how to promote OSH by different activities recently. And as this is a union, so we cannot make any amendment, but we just to arouse the society to concern with the OSH, and to let the union, to let the workers know more about it. So we use a lot of activities to do to arouse the society to know more about the safety. Say here you can see, and every year, and the union organized safety walk to raise fund, and to what was the purpose of the fund? It is just mentioned before that we have to give the immediate financial assistance to those injured workers. So the money is from the fundraising, and also we through these activities, and you can see on the pictures, and we ask the government. The head of the government, and this is now the chief executive officer of the government, Mr. Zhang, and also lots of the important persons to stay on the to stay on the stage, and also we use it, and this is to attract the eyes from the society to see what the message we want to distribute to the societies. So every year we have to do it, and every year we can get more than 1,000 persons to go on this safety walk, and after it we can say that the effects of the safety walk is very useful, and also. And we will organize different questionnaires, investigation, and activities, such as we use the work pressure, and we through the activities to the many purpose for the questionnaires investigation. That on the first stage we can get some persons to think about what we have to ask and what we can promote in these activities, and then through these activities and through the questionnaire, we can ask the workers to think about what they want to say, what they want to do, and also, and after the questionnaire, we will do the study, and then we will use a press conference or the press release to the whole society, and to arouse the society to concern with the OSH. So you can see this you can see we use a comic drawing contest to let the students in school to know more, to think more about the OSH, And also this is the press conference and our union leaders. Now this one before is our union leader, but now is the figurehead of the what was it? The welfare and welfare bureau. Now just starting from 1st of June now, he is the figurehead of this bureau. And there's all of this them our union workers, union leaders, to do the press conference and then to let them know our study of the work pressures. And also we will promote the OSH knowledge and awareness by different activities also, and so such as organize the OSH exercise, what that means. And this is a picture that we organize these activities in airports. In airports, we organize 1,000 workers to do the safety exercise in the airport. Say there's a very big area in airport. We organize 1,000 persons to do the exercise, and also we will organize lots of the construction site exercise before work and after work, or maybe in the middle of work, to let them to stress the muscles and let them have some time to release, and then to let the muscle have a better preparation for work. And also, and we will give a talk in the workplace such as sites. And you can see this there are two different pamphlets. It is we will print this leaflet, and then to promote for the OSH conference, we will organize volunteers to distribute this leaflets in construction site, in workplace, and in quite lots of the workplace. And even we have organized the exercise, and in the Eastern Road is a very busy road to do exercise, and then and also distribute all these pamphlets to different shops in the busy areas, and then we go through this exercises to let every workers and receive this message from us. And you can see, and also, and we will organize a slogan writing contest and the photo taking. You see, this is the winner of the photo taking, and we try to use these activities to promote the right behavior or the working behavior. So, and also, and we will organize lots of the excellent workers scheme. Excellent workers. This maybe at last these two workers will be chosen as excellent workers, as they do the right jobs in their work. And also we have the very important proposition. It is a booklet. The booklets to distribute to different areas, to all the organized the NGOs, to all the unions, and also try to distribute it to all the workers. It is the booklet is how to claim the compensation. It is very important. As in Hong Kong, as there is not good behavior in Hong Kong, that is in lots of the, especially for the construction industry, and when the workers meet injury, but the contractor do not, sometimes the contractor do not want them to report to the labor department. Maybe as if they think that if lots of the accidents happened in the project, and next time the contractor will difficult to bid the tender from the government project as the accident, they will be deducted some masses, so it's difficult for them to bid the next project. So always the contractors do not want the workers to report the accidents. But to the workers, if they do not report the accidents, then later it is difficult for them to claim the compensation, and later it's difficult for them to do any post-injury the therapy. So we have to let the workers know that what their rights and benefits. And so we go through by this pamphlets to the workers to let them know their rights and benefits. And just I have mentioned before that to help injured workers to claim their compensation and negligence compensations. And to Hong Kong, there's ordinance and the compensation ordinance. And also they will have the workers, and through maybe 1 or 2 years they will be compensated, but they do not know how to claim the negligence compensations. So we will help the workers to claim that. Okay, this is what I want to talk this morning. So any inquiries or any questions?
That's all from your presentation?
Yep.
All right. Okay. Thank you for Professor Wong. So is there any question from the floor? Anybody would like to raise any questions?
Hello, Professor Wong.
Yep.
KK here. How are you?
Yeah, fine.
A couple of months we don't see each other. Yeah,
Yeah,
from the ground, I see some have requested a slide. And is it possible in English?
Which one?
Is it the slide can be shared later?
Yeah, okay.
Right. Hopefully the slide will be with English possible. Then you share with me. I will upload to the Facebook, our this webinar Facebook page, and
Yes,
everyone
okay.
can have a look on there.
As it's in rush time, so I've take time to prepare it. As you know, in Hong Kong, what happened in Hong Kong now is everybody is very busy. As
Right.
just
Right.
recover, with just a little bit recover from the COVID-19. So we have to start the economic. We have to start the workers to resume their work. So this time, so we are very busy to promote the OSH. You know, suddenly the workers have work to do. Suddenly they resume the work, and they will they just want to work fast and fast. So they this is the right time to arouse their conscience about occupational safety. So we do a lot of work in these recent times.
Recently, a lot of people are concerned. They know what is PPE, what is SOP. So in the market, everyone they know what is procedure. They need concern on occupational safety and health as well. So the public safety, they are very important as well. So I believe that.
Yeah, the frequent promotion is very important. Every time you have to do some jobs to arouse their conscience. And in Hong Kong, no, you know, the work is the person is very serious, and we always complain that the company only pursue the fast work and fast to complete the jobs, and then the fast to receive money by the employers. But our workers have to know the rights and benefits, and they have to know how to protect themselves. As if there's any injury and it's no good to the whole society. The medical burden and psychological burden, there's a lot of and then the post-injury issues. So we have to stop the accidents at the beginnings.
Is it from the ground? Any question for Professor Wong?
Yes, yes. Okay. Now, well, first of all, I would like to thank Professor Wong to deliver a wonderful speech to us. Well, no problem. I will call her every morning to collect her PowerPoint in English every morning. Okay.
Okay.
One question. Well, honestly, I am an employer. You are from the labor unions.
Yeah.
Do you think that we are on the opposite side of a big river?
No, we always claim that the union is a bridge between employers and employees. And
so the employer and employee are on the opposite side of a big river.
No, we do the right job is to to build a bridge between employers and employees, and we have to persuade the employers to do the right jobs, and also we have to persuade our workers and to teach our workers to do the right jobs and to follow the guidelines of the right introduction of the employers. And also they have to know what happened in the the construction site. They have to know what the dangers in the construction site, and also they have to know to use the PPE of the provided by the employer. And we can see always happens. And say in the construction site there is a big noisy, but as the workers think that it's so hot, so they do not like to use a mask to protect their hearing ability. So this is the problem there. So why we always to push the workers to follow the guideline of the employers, and to ask the employer to provide the pop-up PPT to the workers. So why I say that it is we're building the bridge between employers and employees.
Yeah, in the old days, employers are quite mean. They always think about profit only. But nowadays, the world is changing. Well, employers is facing a lot of problems to survive and to sustain their own business. Well, as a leader in the trade union, you always protect the interests of the workers. How does the union say a few words for the employer, or to advise the employer how to do his business better?
No, the priority of the workers, the unions, is to protect the rights and benefits for the workers, and we concern the life of the workers is also the rights. So also so-called the rights and benefits to protect the life of the workers. So the important thing is protect, or once you protect their life, and then they can have their living. And we concern with the proper working conditions. So the working conditions is that we require the employers to provide the safety environment to our workers. So it is very important. So later, and all the society is in a safety society, then we can enjoy, we can share the benefit, and we can share the benefit from the society.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Professor Wong, Zephan here. Related to my topic later, I'm just wondering, like, is there any, is the union doing anything to start looking at so-called protecting people who are working from home? Or is there such a kind of raise awareness among people who are being tasked to work from home right now? Are their work condition at home being reviewed by employee? What is the union views on this? Sorry, again, it's difficult to hear. Oh, okay. I say again. So there are because of the COVID-19, and a lot of companies are now exploring remote working and working from home. So is there any, from the union side, is there any kind of assistance or any work that is doing this to also protect people who are now tasked to work from home?
It's quite difficult to answer. As a work at home in the COVID-19, of course, we encourage the employers to let their employees working at home. But we know that there's a difficult. For some industry, it's difficult to work at home. So last 2 months, there is a lot of so-called conflicts between employers and employees. And what we can do is just to ask employers to give employees a more protection. Say now, what the protection is only to remember to wear the masks, and remember to clean your hands, and remember to have proper working conditions. And recently, I don't want to say too much about we in Hong Kong we have the employers retraining board, and it is to give the training to the workers, especially when they lost their job, they can join this training, and when they join the training, they can get some financial assistance from the government. So, but as a coronavirus-19, so we cannot let them sit in the classroom. So we use this Zoom to let them to have the training, and after this training, they can also have the subsidies from the government. So no, it is a difficult time for everybody now.
Professor Wong. Wow.
Yeah.
But you are talking about Zoom training for the laborers retraining classes. Well, how do you make sure that they are sitting in front of the computer and listen to the training?
we must let them face the camera. So once if we cannot see your face, then you cannot be counted that you can have the subsidy this lesson.
Well, do you suggest us to impart this rule in
Yes.
our webinar?
So you so it's quite difficult as according to the rule that we cannot do any recording.
Yes.
As the privacy. But if there is no recording, how can we count that you always appears in front of the camera?
Yes.
So we have another administration the terminal, and we have another staff to count. Once if you disappear, then our staff will call you by telephone, then ask you to appear in front of the camera. So,
yeah, currently I'm doing this job now. I'm monitoring the everyone webinar now, the attendance as well.
If anyone want to go to the toilet, please raise up your hand.
No, you cannot. And we have the common toilet time. So you cannot leave it. You cannot leave that. You cannot off the your camera shooting. You cannot off the but you can off the microphone, but you cannot off the camera.
Yes. Well, in our webinar, we have a new route in order to claim for the CEP, CBD, or CCD, etc. Well, all the members want a certificate. You have to show your name on the chat room every hour in this morning.
Yeah, and we have to capture the picture every hour.
Yes.
So it is evidence. So it is very important.
I think I have a question from Patrick. Patrick, do you mind to unmute your mic to ask, discuss with Professor Wong? Patrick? Patrick, are you here?
No, I cannot see Patrick.
All right. So the Patrick question is, Professor Wong, is there any OSH advice from the union to mitigate unwanted incident during pipe checking works?
Hijacking works.
Hijacking.
Yes.
PIPE, pipe jacking.
No, it's up to our union. We can only do the promotion. We can only cause them to do more concern with themselves, the safety, the safety and health. No other things that we can do. We once that if we can see there is and then look in the ordinance, we will go to the government to ask to amend the ordinance. Otherwise, there are no other things we can do.
Patrick said he don't have mic. Okay.
It's simple.
Right,
yeah, but I think it's simple. Perhaps Patrick may employ us to as an engineer to solve his problem.
All right, no problem.
Okay,
I think Lim, his time is almost there already. Thanks a lot
Yeah.
for Professor Wong.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can have time next to discuss about say some issues. Say the case on there in before there's a lot of the case on work in Hong Kong, but now it is eliminated. Though it's a ban from the case on work now. So in that time, the union face a big problem that if you agree the government to eliminate to ban the case on work, then a lot of workers will lose their jobs. But if we object this case work, then we will face that maybe a lot of workers will injure in occasional jobs. So it is the contradiction to union. But in us, we agree to ban this occasional jobs, and then we provide a lot of training to those workers to change to other jobs. So and us up to this moment, we think that it's a successful. This change is successful, and now we also face another problem and issue in Hong Kong, especially the bamboo scaffolding. So bamboo scaffolding now recently there's not the fatal case happened in Hong Kong, and also to the union that whether we ask to ban the scaffolding, bamboo scaffolding, or we insist the bamboo scaffolding should work in Hong Kong. So now we're discussing about it, and we have to inquire a lot of persons in this industry to see how to properly handle this problem.
Yes.
So what is your opinion, Dr. Ho? The bamboo scaffolding later maybe totally agree that's a bamboo scaffolding, but I don't know. Let him talk about it later.
Yes. It is a very complicated case. Yeah. Well, with the government ban the bamboo scaffold, it is a big impact to the industry. But I do believe that the safety factor of a bamboo scaffold is not good enough.
So it's a lot of the argument about whether it is a real not safety or it is safety. It's a safe, but you have to follow all the guidelines. So
yeah.
So a lot of argument about it.
Yes, but you know, bamboo is a natural material. It can't be calculated. It's difficult to maintain. So it's a big problem to continuously use the bamboos as a main construction support or working platform. It is not a good method. In our mainland China, there's no bamboo scaffolds can be used in the construction site. They use steel scaffolds.
But I just mentioned before that why we want to talk about the external wall design. As it is, there is no any facilities to let the maintenance workers to do the external work. So if they want to use it is quite common to use the bamboo scaffolding to set up the platform for those external workers.
Yes.
If you ban the bamboo scaffold, what can the workers do? How can they do the maintain jobs at the external wall? So it's quite complicated. Yes, quite complicated.
Yes. Okay.
Hello, Professor Wong and CM Ho. I think time is good enough for us here. So we still have the last, I think the time in 12:30, we have a forum public discussion, professional sharing, the last section there. So will you mind, I will introduce the next speaker, Professor Wong.
Yeah, when you remind me again to talk to you.
Yeah. So see you later, 12:30. Don't leave first, right?
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Professor Wong.
Okay, thank you, Professor Wong, for the proposed sharing. So next we will be inviting the next speaker, Mr. Jacky Leung Ka Wa. So he'll be sharing on occupational safety for non-disruptive NDT radiographics testing. So let's welcome Jacky Leung for your presentations. You may share your slide now.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Yeah, good morning.
Mr. Jacky Leung Ka Wa, as a C-SHIP NDT Level 3 Inspector, and I work at a material tech company as a telecom manager. Today, my topic is talking about on application work for NDT on radiographic. Let me talk for a little bit introduction for the NDT for RT background. Radiographic is of virtual importance in non-destructive testing. Radiographic ensure the integrity of equipment and structures such as vessel, pipe, well joint.
Sorry, Jacky.
Hi.
Jacky, do you mind to screen big your slide?
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Yeah, good.
Okay.
Thank you, Jacky.
Okay. The integrity of this equipment affect not only the safety and the quality of this product used by the worker, but also the safety and the quality of the environment for the worker and the public at large. The second objective of the radiation protection and safety. The primary aim of the radiation protection and safety is to provide a appropriate standard of protection and safety for people without undue limiting the benefit of practice giving rise to exposure. In structural radiographic source, admit X-ray and gamma ray radiation, which produce dose rate of the order of 100 of the milligram per hour at 1 meter. This high dose rate at close distance can cause several injuries such as radiation burn following explosion after a few seconds. Workers use such source must achieve the protection objective to prevent those arising from X-ray and chronic accidental exposure and unsafe work practice, like to cause injury to develop. Safe work practice will protect not only the individual worker, but also other in the community and the public from the serious consequences arising from the loss and of uncontrolled use of this source. This radiation protection and safety objective apply to the design, manufacture or construction, commissioning, operation, maintenance, and decommissioning of the explosive device. Seals the source and fix the facility for instructional radiographic. They also apply to the development, application, and review of all operation procedure. 3.2, control of the exposure shielding is Enclosure. This is mainly important for the RT. Shield enclosure rate are to be fitted with suitable safeguard to ensure that people cannot gain unauthorized access to the radiation room while the exposure device is in the exposed position or is energized. Access control relies heavily on the use of interlock system. Suitable interlock have to be installed to form a mechanical or electrical link between the exposure control system and the door or the other point of the entry to the shield enclosure. Emergency stop button or pull cord are to be installed to enable any person within the shield enclosure to quickly terminate or prevent the radiation exposure. The emergency control system is to be designed to allow people then to leave the shield enclosure or to consume assistance. The radiographer thought to be able to terminate the exposure immediately in an emergency. Clearly visible sign bearing the radiation symbol and warning are to be posted and all door to be shielded enclosure. Visible warning signal have to be permitted and positioned in the suitable location. All the warning signal have to be distinct and loud enough to plan to be the immediate attention of the people in the area. The warning signs are to be distinguishable and designed not so as not to be confused with another signal in the area. 3.3, the operation procedure for shield enclosure. Only authorized worker could have received appropriate training to be operate in the shield enclosure. However, the radiographer enter the shield enclosure, he or she have to be careful portable survey meter. Before the radiation source is exploded or energized, shield enclosure is to be checked by the radiographer to confirm that no person is inside. Exposure are to be initiated by the radiographer only when the door is closed. Or essential shielding is in place, safety device in operation and warning signs.
Okay.
This is the sample that I prepared for the shielded enclosure. Then, put access for the door and
Okay. Aduh.
right, limitation and the door and the and this is the symbol of the warning sign have to be in yellow and danger radiation has to be taken. And this is the interlock for the safety for the system. This is the warning system that we when it's carry on, its radiation is on, taking and radiation off to show the people that for side. This is the emergency stop in case of the emergency. This is mostly we'll carry out on Hong Kong for the site radiographic procedure. Most radiographic is performed on site and is influenced by a number of the site specified conditions. Planning for the safe operation, including consideration of the location, prominently of the member of the general public, weather condition, time of the day, and the work at height, in a confined space or under difficult condition. Owing to those conditions, site radiographic need to be performed with more than one radiographic for the safety. Boundary of the controlled area, site radiographic need to be done in area which specified protection measure and safety provision are in place. Example, in an area designated at a controlled area, the boundary of the controlled area is to be set at a closed dose rate pointer which is appropriate under the prevailing circumstances and specified exposure time, and to be authorized by the regulation authority. These dose rate pointer they have to be set at a value ensuring that outside the controlled area, the annual dose limit for the public are not existent. Accounting being taken of the nature and the frequency of the site, radiographic at a specified site used as well as the occupied factor were allowed. Warning notice that should be put around the test area. Notice are placed at the controlled area boundary at the suitable position. The notes bear the international radiation, therefore simple warning and appropriate instruction in the local language. And a warning signal, in all cases, accurate warning is to be given. Visible or audible signal or both are used to be used where as a radiographic source is exploded or an X-ray machine is energized and surveillance is composed. The use of the visible and audible signal will help to reduce the likelihood of the accident exposure to the radiation. Controlling and monitoring the boundary. Before start of the radiographic work, the area is to be clear of all people except for the authorized personnel. The boundary shall be clearly visible and well lit and continuous patrol to ensure that unauthorized people do not enter the controlled area. If the boundary is large, or if it cannot be seen from the one position or not secured by the physical means, more than one person will need to be patrol the area. The dose rate at the representative point at the boundary are to be checked during the radiographic, particularly when the position of the radiographic within the area or the direction of the radio beams is changed. This is the symbol of the manual warning signs. They have to be clearly signed, boundary, and the people that we've alarmed the system. And this is a temporary signal. There should be English or maybe Chinese, depends on which region, and will be no entry, and the side of the radiation that have been showed on it. Shielding is the one of to reduce the radiation effect. Shielding reduces both the side of the controlled area and the radiation dose released by the radiographic. Whenever it is possible to take advantage, of existing shielding, such as wall, vehicle, or shielded enclosure or similar structure to the reduced radiation dose level that used to be used on site when the people that doing the RT, and then probably they will stand behind of the car or maybe the steel structure for eliminating for the dose level. Monitoring personal dosimeter, such as the luminescence or the film dosimeter and directing reading dosimeter are to be worn when the radiographer are working with isolating radiation. A personnel dosimeter is worn only by the radiographer to whom it is issued, and it is securely stored in a non-radiation environment. When not being wanted, personnel dosimeter are to be regularly assessed for the radiation to which they have been exposed. As required, the regulation authority, direct reading dosimeter have to be periodically assessed by the radiographer to monitoring the dose received during the radiography. The portable survey meter. For the site radiographic operation, at least one portable survey meter have to be available for each working group. Before being the radiographic, the meter is to be tested against a checked source or by placing the meter detector close to the exposure container. To obtain a reference reading which can be referred to during the radiographic operation, this extracts the reliable of the instrument and confirm that the radiographic source is in. Personal alarm monitor. Radiographic need to be used to personal alarm monitor during the whole period they may be exposed to RNA radiation. The alarm provides a recognizable signal to the suitable dose rate that may be prescribed by the regulation authority. The signal is to be audible, visible, or vibratory, and recognizable in the working environment. These alarms are used to be in additional to portable survey meter. This is a sample of the personal monitoring survey meter, the film bash. The last, just we talking about the stockage, movement, and the transport of the radiographic source and exposure device. The storage facility are decided to the restricted exposure, keep radiographic source, exposure container, and the control source secure against the shift or the damage, and prevent any unauthorized person from carrying out in any action which would be dangerous to themselves or to the public. Clear warning notices are to be placed in the storage facility. The door is to be kept locked, and the key for the storage facility and exposure device control are to be held only by the authorized personnel. Physical inventory check are to be made frequently to confirm the location of the radiographic source, exposure container, and the source. Okay, this is the conclusion. During the RT radiation work, all the contractor, employee, worker, and the supervisor need to be work together to work as a team to avoid the exposure for the damage for the hazard to the health. This is my topic. Is any question?
Thank you. Thank you.
Susan, all right. Lim, carry on, Lim.
We apologize for the technical issue. There was some going. Just hold on. All right, Jacky.
Yep.
Yeah, are you there? Are you still there? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So do the worker need to undergo any formal training before they carry out the job? What kind of formal trainings that need to go through?
They need to be trained. There will be usually an in-house procedure that telling the people how to be trained, qualified, and inspection procedure for let them to follow on site. Have to be qualified.
Only in-house training will do. Is the in-house training accepted by the local government or any authority?
Oh, usually it's in-house.
It's in-house trainings.
Yeah, in-house training. Usually level 3, and then instruct them, and then there will be supervisor carry out the water heating on site, and it's suitable, and then they'll be carry out on the working.
How many levels they are? Just now you're mentioning about level 3 or level 1. Would you mind to explain?
Must be one level 2, RT level 2 that will be conduct for the inspection, and maybe one helper, and one level 3 to authorizing the inspection procedure and supervision.
So meaning to say level for those workers, they need to go through a training and then it will automatically become level 1, is it?
Yep, at the level 1, and the assigned to carry out supervision and do the report must be RT level 2.
Do they need to register with any body?
According to the society, maybe the SHEA or PCN certificate, Radiographic level 2 or ASMT or ACCP.
So what's its validity like?
There will be 5 year for the validity for the certificate.
Certificate.
After 5 years, they will be renewed.
So in order to renew the certificate, what are the criteria they require?
There will be requirement. The application for the SHEA or PCN after 5 years.
Okay.
We
Do they have to undergo any refresher course to renew their competency or certificate later on?
Oh, the first 5 years, they just need to submit the documentation and a CV and then continue education. Example, if in 1 year they're doing for the job, just send a report and the I certificate, and then let them to be approval. And another 5 years, they need to receive for the exam.
Wow, it takes a very lengthy process.
Yeah.
In order to become the assessor, you need to take around like 5 years times.
Yeah, and if Hong Kong, they need to be when you assign the people, you need to be 1 level 3 and 1 level 2, and at least one trainer level 1 conduct the RT job in Hong Kong. But in Hong Kong, mostly the RT is not very popular right now. Just only do for the plane and gas station because of the safety of Hong Kong, the regulation. They need to block the road. They need to inform the government. That's why so many questions.
Right, I think from the chat room, Andrew Rongi from MOSHPA, Sarawak, our MOSHPA member. He have a question asked about typical incident involve radiation testing. Any incident or accident from Hong Kong or from your case or study, do you mind to share for us to some lesson learned?
But for in my age, I think in this past year did not, but in earlier on 19 in Hong Kong, and some of my friends just told me they forget to close the isotope, and then they bring it to the home, and then they just found out next day, and then the leg needs to be cut off. And this is, but it's not, I think it's not on the newspaper, but just only one of my friends just told me, and the people, they forgot. Yeah. And this is the cause to the personal injury that for a long time, for future, need to cut off the leg.
So, actually, our webinar, we have a Facebook page. Hopefully that later Jacky will be provide us some lesson learned incident from this radiation testing. And you can post up from the website page and then let our participants have a look and study from there, right?
Okay, I will say.
Yeah, thanks. From the ground, any question more? By KK, hi, I'm KK. So I believe that is it have any competency license in Hong Kong? We call that a radiation protection officer.
Oh, yes. You need to apply for the license to the Hong Kong
Right.
Safety Health Government to apply for the license.
Similar in Malaysia as well. So, and the batch monitoring, you guys is monthly dose rate or yearly, and they need a calculation and how much they can be worked, or they need to rotate administrative control on these working hours, right?
Oh, you need to check for the each year for the health, and there's a risk to check for every year for the worker. Each year need
Because
to
similar like Malaysia as well.
Yeah.
Good.
Same
That's
Right.
somewhat like a health surveillance, right? They need to undergo it every year.
Yep.
I see.
So one more time again from the ground, our group chat. Any question for our speaker? If no, any question, I will pass back to CK Lim, and thanks a lot for our Jacky Leung.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jacky.
Thank you.
So Jacky, you can stay until 12:30. Later we can have a public forum and professional sharing. Maybe now everyone is respect you guys speaker. They're not there to unmute the mic and speak or at the chat room. So 12:30 we can see you again. Hopefully.
Okay.
Thank you, Jacky.
Right. Without further ado, let's welcome our fourth speaker and also our last speaker for this session webinar. So Mr. Zephan Chan Yu Yun. So he's the director of Operations Institute of Occupational Medicine Singapore. So as a committee member of IOSH Singapore branch. So you'll be presenting to us on the new norm working from home. So let's welcome Mr. Zephan Chan for the presentations.
Thank
Hello,
you.
Zephan.
Oh, hey, thank you. I need to share my screen.
Yes, take your time.
Okay. Let's see if this will work. Okay, it's a little bit slow, is it? Give me a minute. Let me.
Take your time, no worry. We are waiting you.
Okay, so can you all see my screen right now and hear me well?
Yes.
Okay. So I think every participant, if you okay, put some okay at the group, make our group happening a bit too silent today.
It's okay.
Today
It's
too
fine. It's
silent.
okay. Yeah.
Yes, good. Everyone is happy now. Thank you. All right.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for the invitation and also, a quick introduction of myself. My name is Zephan, Zep. So I work for the Institute of Occupational Medicine, and by practice, I am a safety professional, more specialized in occupational hygiene ergonomics. Today, my topic is on something that is all of us has been exposed to doing this for a while now, working from home.
Sorry, Zephan.
Yes.
I think the mic will be the voice is quite low. Is the mic
Quite
issue?
low. Okay, that's why. Let me just put this closer.
Feedback and then we continue. Thank you.
Okay, let me see.
Sorry for a while, everyone. So I want to make sure everyone can be clear statement from Zephan. So let me interrupt him.
Okay, if I put this closer to me, is it okay? Is it okay now?
Everyone okay? A bit soft.
A bit
Slightly,
soft.
but still stop.
Sorry, I had here. Let me see what I can do. Okay, maybe I have to adjust my volume. Give me a minute.
Now it's okay. Now it's not bad.
Okay.
Yeah, now
okay.
it's closer. That's good.
Okay,
Everyone okay, right?
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah, carry on.
It's okay.
Okay, I will speak as if I'm in a room and sharing with the whole group. Now, so I think that my topic today is on working from home. Most of us in this room have been experiencing working from home for a while due to the current situation. I call it the new norm because it is likely to become one of the new trend of working model. The topic I have today, and this is my outline. First, I will talk about a little bit history about the working from home and some of the issues we can briefly discuss. And then why is it different during the COVID-19 pandemic? Why it's more likely to become a new norm, and some of the challenges and opportunity as OSH professional. What does working from home brings about for us? Now, first and foremost, I would say that to some of us, we might be thinking, oh, work from home is pretty new, but work from home is certainly not new. If you think about the early work from home are people who really, this is where they stay, they work in the farm, and the early days where people are doing agriculture, rearing cattle, you will involve young children and family members that are close. And at a later stage, maybe people, there may be people who will be leaving their home to work for aristocrats, to work for people. In the early days, it could be a form of slavery, but these people who will be working for some employer are likely to also be provided accommodation. So in a way, they are also working in the place where they stay. And then if we think about the Industrial Revolution, while in the early days, while people start to go into offices, but to continue to grow economically, you see, these are some of the very old pictures. You can even before World War I and II, you can see that while the family men in those days go out to the factory, go out to the society to work, children and women at home start to do some additional work. And that is actually working from home. So again, not very new. And this is a scene I get from some movie in Singapore, but it described in the early days in Singapore and Malaysia, where where the industry are not really very developed, not machinalized. You will have children, making umbrellas at home. This is something a small job. In our area, we call it tikam. It's like the young children actually has to use glue, paste some of the lottery tickets onto a poster and deliver this to a shop to sell. So they are paid a certain amount. Now, interestingly, in the early days of working from home, you see it really involved children. And all that. So we will say that these days with work from home, does it involve children? Maybe child labor is something not very acceptable, but certainly if people are working from home, there will be children at home. There will be some other people who may interfere with the need to work from home. So so we need to recognize that work from home is not new, but it is taking a new form. So and recent years, a lot of new network and communication advancement, the internet and cloud software. For now, you no longer need to store your you no longer need to store your files into a common server. You can store it in this cloud drive where everybody can access it at the same time, resulting in a lot of we simply call them remote working application like what we are using right now, Zoom, allow people to collaborate. Some people start to say, oh, there are some security issues with Zoom. You've got Microsoft Team collaboration, you've got Box, you've got team collaboration software. Even the Microsoft, even today, most of us are using the Microsoft. You can see that as early as 8 to 10 years ago, Microsoft took a approach to start moving their software online, such that people are more capable of working from home. And interestingly, if we look at the statistics, this is actually statistics from United Kingdom, and over the period from 1998 to 2019, you start to see a very progressive increase in the number of people who are actually work from home. Now, these are the numbers. These are not numbers who occasionally work from home. This number is saying that the person is being employed and permanently works from home. The IOM, my own company our HQ is in Scotland. We have several staff, including our consulting managing director. He don't work in office. He is employed to work from home. So so the actual number of people who actually work from home on a part-time basis could even be more. I'll show you some other numbers. So this is from US. You can see that these are some of the industry. Right now, of course, you will say that some of these IT services, financial services are more likely to be able to allow their staff to work from home, because most of the time, the work would involve a simple business machine, a laptop, and a split screen and collaboration, whereas some other industry may not necessary. However, if you start to think about, if you start to look at the number like manufacturing and even retail, the number are on the rising. You might, so for once we think, oh, how do you work if you are not in the shop? How do you work if you are not in physically there? But we know that retail are going online. So with online e-commerces and all that, you will definitely see the COVID-19 in a while with I share is already beginning to demonstrate that that we are able to push quite a bit of our workforce to start remote working and working from home. Now, some other numbers will actually surprise you if you see this is while this is a number to talk about business people in the business who work at least 2.5 days a week, which is this is actually half a week, so half a work week. And in some of this country, you might be surprised that we thought this might be something Western, Asian, but the top country of that are actually deploying business people to work from remotely doesn't necessarily be home, but they may be working while they are traveling. They are working from their hotel, from their hotel accommodation, but they do not work in an office. Now the number is pretty high, it's 2.5 days a week, and it's up to almost 65%, and the global average is 54, which means the number is telling us that in some industry, especially doing business, you know, people, about half or even more, slightly more than half of this group of people work at least 50% away and out of their office. So it might be surprising that we think that a lot of people had this impression, work from home is a very American, it's a very British, UK thingy, but the highest number is actually in China and India. Of course, you would say that the industry over there is bigger. Now, next. So those were the numbers about remote working, even or working from home, even before the COVID-19. The current pandemic pushed a lot of new work from home. This is a survey done in Spain. Sorry if I am being accused of a little bit of data dredging. I only show certain number. Why is there no Hong Kong statistics? Why is there no Singapore statistics? Because the topic is relatively new, and COVID-19 currently people will be more interested about economy and things like that. So I try to find a few example of survey to, it may not be very representative of the whole world, but it gives us some idea what is happening in the world of working from home. Because of the coronavirus outbreak, the number in Spain, you can start to see what is the impact on work. Actually, a lot of big number actually starts to have home office, start working from home. And then, of course, you've got this other kind. But then again, you also have a certain number who are at home, but they are not working because they are not enabled to do so. However, if you compare these two numbers, you are showing that interestingly, within a very short while, officers were able to operate from home. As I mentioned earlier, this is another number from Norway. You can again see that a big number, about 50%, has home office right away. This actually shows us that, of course, compared to some people who say they had no option, they were not able to work from home, but you can see the big contrast. This shows us a little bit while the COVID-19 is pushing everybody to work from home, we think that there's a big rush to remote working, but somehow the industry had been quite ready. They have been quite ready because of earlier on I show all the remote working application, Zoom and all this. Take for instance my own work in IOM. We were enabled to work from home at least 5 years ago or 8 years ago. We have been using cloud software, we have been using Box, we have been using Zoom for 2 years. So when it was informed to us that you've got to shut down, you can't work in office, we were like, okay, that's very normal for us. So now another question is, how are people working from home? So this survey in Poland tells us that they went to survey people who work from home during the COVID-19. Where do they actually use? Again, we can see that there is quite a big number of people who actually immediately has desks, actually have some home office set up. But of course, you have a big number that end up using kitchen table on the bed and all that. And we are concerned with this because what about ergonomics issue? What about affecting sleep? If you are consistently working in the bed, you will not have a proper segregation. It may end up poor sleep quality and things like this. So people are working in the living room and things like that. So certainly, while we are seeing that a lot of people are ready, there are also a big number that we need to take care of if the work from home becomes a new norm. Now, on the whole, the COVID-19 drives many organizations to continue operate. Some company who was not able to immediately get all the workers back to home and to work from their home took a while, but it wasn't more than 1 or 2 weeks before they got everybody ready to work from home. But when I say this 1 or 2 weeks time, it was very much focused on, do you have a computer to work with? Are you able to save your file? Do you have a team meeting software? Later on, when we talk about occupational health and safety, what is the safety and health about working from home? Is there risk assessment? That is where our opportunity is. Now, I want to define more. It is not only just working from the home of the employee, but in some cases, it's also about working in the home country, home city, and home city state. Now, for just for example, in today's meeting, if COVID-19 did not happen, all of us might be in Hong Kong, or all of us might be in Singapore or Malaysia coming together for a conference. We need to travel and all that. But because of COVID-19, it pushes us to think about working in our home country, our home office. So, and yet we are coming together to achieve some things. So the COVID-19, work from home in COVID-19 is slightly different. For a few reasons, because company rush to implement working from home, there may be lack of risk assessment. So we simply get people to go back to work without asking them, do you have big enough home? I suspect maybe in Hong Kong, it might be a challenge because the living spaces in a lot of Hong Kong families is already very small. Now, all of a sudden, you expect people to bring their machines, their laptops and everything back home to work. And interestingly, because of the COVID-19, I'll jump a little bit, there is lack of physical space because not only the father need to work from home, the mother need to work from home, the children need to learn from home. Everybody is squeezing into the same space to work from home. It is unlike those well-planned remote working, well-planned work from home, where the employee had good time to plan out a space, to renovate a small room, buy a suitable desk. Today, even in Hong Kong, I suspect, followed by Singapore, our living space is pretty small. So if all of a sudden the father, the mother, and the two children need 4 desks, need multiple power socket, to set up their home working and home learning space is really a challenging issue. But I think to keep the economy going, it seems like our focus was let's make sure it works rather than the safety, the space. Let's squeeze a little. I'll use the desk, you use the kitchen table, and you learning, go back to the room, do it on your bed. So now another thing is not so much of the space, but because of the COVID-19, and if someone has to work from home, the individual will have other sorts of needs because babysitting is not available. In normal days, when we work from home, even if I work from home, I will send my children to the childcare because the childcare center is still open. I may have domestic helper with us. Now, during this COVID-19, there are situations where maybe the domestic helper becomes stuck back in their home country because coincidentally, the COVID-19 happened during a time of some of these major festival. Chinese New Year happened during the Ramadan, and some domestic helper typically go back to their home province, and they were not able to come back. So some of these are some of the challenge. Now, the normal work from home, when it is really necessary to come out for a physical meeting, go back to office for a physical meeting is possible. But during the COVID-19, it was impossible. You just need to try to do it through Zoom, through web app, through Team. So no choice, it was impossible. During I do not know whether maybe later during question and answer, some of you can share a little bit with me, but in Singapore, there were a certain time that we start to experience a surge. That means a sudden increase network usage and even breakdown of the internet grid. Yeah, you will understand that for the internet service provider to make money, they are not likely to install 100% capacity for the whole block of apartment, the whole area. They are going to install maybe 60-70% because not every family are using the internet at the same time at the same rate. But during the COVID-19, even in Singapore, we experienced certain days where some of our internet service provider told us, sorry, the internet is down because overuse, because too many people are on the network at the same time. Now that causes a lot of frustration for work. I'm scheduled for a meeting at 2 p.m. The network is down. It's one of the most important meetings, probably a promotion interview, but my internet is down. There goes my promotion. So now amidst it, we can think of how the COVID-19 has caused a very different landscape of working from home. But certainly the interesting thing is it forces everybody to start working from home and seize the problem. Now, if we are being pushed to a cliff, we are being pushed to a situation where we face so much difficulty, humans are innovative, humans are creative. We will eventually think of solution. We will think of how to solve the problem. So working from home, as what we are seeing it, it is most likely to become a new normal, a new norm. And it's not just, again, it's not just the individual home. It means staying in your home country, your home state, your home city. And personally, in my job, I am a trainer. I'm doing quite a bit of training, flying around all over the region in the world to do training. But all of a sudden, my clients are now telling me, Zephan, stay in Singapore. We can do the training via Zoom. And now, one of the interesting things is many people become converts. Many people are getting used to the idea. Because I now maybe prefer to say, to teach from home, because I reduce my travel, because I don't have to leave my family for a long period of time. My client, my student are trying to, are slowly getting more used to online training, and it's really about a better way of delivering training. You know, this is my example. But some of the reasons, like if you say, Zephan, what is your proof? What is your proof that work from home will become the new norm? Okay, and this is some of my suggestion. Why? One, the social distancing, while we are right now slowly easing lockdown, and many countries are now allowing some of their workforce to go back to the workplace to work, but social distancing is going to be there for at least the next 6 to 18 months. Even if we have some vaccines coming up and all that, many legislation are saying that you need to have social distancing. Now, in some country, 1 meter, 2 meter, and in some even 6 feet kind of distancing. Now, if you think about it, it is almost impossible to get everybody to go back to work in the office. Even if the law says everybody can come back, but as long as you want all your workforce to come back, you need social distancing. Now, to keep 1 meter, 2 meters, 6 feet, oh, you need a lot more space. Now, so if I am the employer, how am I going to like rent a new office, buy a new space so that my staff can come back to work? Stay home, stay home, stay home and work. And the reason is also because investment has been there. We during the last 2 months, 3 months of COVID-19 lockdown, a lot of companies have rushed to invest into remote working software, Zoom, for example, and a lot of these software companies go by subscription model. They say you sign up with me for 1 year subscription, you sign up for at least 6 months. So when the companies has already invested in this remote working software, even with the easing of the lockdown, there isn't a reason why you want to quickly get your worker staff to come back to work. You want them to continue to use the software that you already provide for them. So So why stay on? Now, some legislation requirement is now requiring the work from home until further notice, until the pandemic really is down. So we can discuss that. Like in Singapore, our authority actually says that work from home should still be the first choice, the default options. Now, but there are converts who actually start to realize the possibility and benefit of working from home. I'll show you some numbers in a while. But some companies are now saying that, wow, actually, working from home is better. Some of the benefit is definitely rental. Say rental cost, real estate. Now, imagine I can push 20–30% of my workforce to work at home. How much cost I save? Imagine my people are happier. How HR will be very happy because the staff enjoys the job. Now, and of course, it's really because a lot of us begin to like working from home. Let's look at some numbers to support this. So this is a survey. This is a survey actually done quite in worldwide. About 317. They are CFOs and financial leaders. So these are actually business leaders. A survey asked them. They asked this question. So after you have this group of people that previously were not, before the COVID-19, they do not work from home. Before the COVID-19, they don't work from home. But after the COVID-19, how likely they will remain permanently to work remotely? Now, if you catch the news, company like Facebook, Google has already announced all my staff can work permanently from home forever, as long as they wish. So we are seeing leaders saying, now, if you look at the number of response, about 70 up to 74% says at 5% more, these are increased. So there will be 5% more of people of the staff can continue to work permanently from home. Now, if we look at the number, actually about 47% says at least 10% of their workforce, and actually about 6% says 50% of their workforce will continue to work permanently from home. This means out of 100 companies, there will be 6 companies that will start to implement this. And I believe this number will continue to grow because of a few other steps. Now, this is millennia. Millennia are considered people who are, we call another term is called Generation Z. They typically, these are the people who are born after 1995. Okay, after 90, is it 95? Yeah, okay. Born after 1995, or some will say born after 2000. But born after 2000 is only 20 years old. They are not very much in the workforce yet. So a good number is 1995. So if they are born in 1995, the oldest one will be like 25. So they are the new workforce. A survey conducted with about with about 7,000 over respondents, which is a very good number. Of course, this is 1982. However, I looked at this is secondary data, right? But anyway, if we look at what are their options, they feel that 75% feel that if I work remotely, if I work from home, it is positive on my productivity. I work better from home. Interesting. So all of us will be thinking in 5 years, 10 years, who are the people working for us? The millennia. These are the young workforce, the new workforce. Eventually they are going to take over the workforce. And they are the ones who say, I can work more productively when I work from home. And more than half say I will want to do more working from home. And a lot of millennials say I'm already being offered. So you can see that the younger group of the newer workforce are really preferring remoting work. So that further explains how likely work from home will become the new norm. Now, so if you see, these are companies. This is a company a lot dealing with IT. Okay, not very. That may not represent all industry, but it's a good number for us. That people who are working from home are very likely to recommend people to work. So if I work, this means if I work from home, I'm likely to ask another person to work from home, and a lot of high percentage say they believe remote work will be the future of work. So if you look through this number, I'll share these slides later. But if you look at it, you can see that a lot of people are preferring work from home. A simple survey conducted in Singapore by one of the HR Human Resource Institute, Human Resource Research think tank, actually got this answer. They went to Singapore employee to ask, do you wish to continue working from home after the circuit breaker is our MCO, like your Malaysia, like our lockdown. Okay, so in Singapore, we give it a very nice name called circuit breaker, or CB in short. So actually 80% of these people say even after the circuit breaker, they wish to continue to work at least 50% from home. So we can already see that in a very short 1 or 2 months, a lot of people are becoming to like the idea of working from home. So this is done in US. That was in Singapore. This is in US conducted. So they went to ask about people who work from home during COVID-19, and you can start to see that a good number of people actually start to prefer to work remotely more often. So and if you add these two numbers again, people who are already working full-time from home, that is 51%. So we'll say more people are now preferring to work from home, which is why I say I can more or less deduce and imply that work from home is going to be a new normal. It's going to be because at the end of the day, that our employees, the labelers, people who do the job, if they prefer to work from home over other forms of compensation like salary, allowances, then the industry is going to drive into that opportunity. Now, my last bit is, so if we now recognize that working from home is going to become a new normal, so what for us as OSH practice professionals, engineers, what is our challenge? What are our challenges and opportunity? Now, let's first look at how people who work from home see. People who work from home are saying that, interestingly, a lot of people may have the immediate impression to say work from home is not productive. Many people think like that, but this is a survey done for professionals who work, and they are actually saying that 52% actually says that it's increased productivity. 48% say increased efficiency. HR personnel or people are saying increased morale. All very high. So company who really go into the company who really started to do remote work are saying these are all the benefits. Now, so certainly with this benefit,
You know, these are good opportunity. Now, but when you ask again, it's very interesting, it's very new topic. Like work from home is not a new topic, but certainly looking at the current form of work from home is quite new research. We need to do more survey and better understand. While people are saying, okay, it's more effective, more productive, however, at home a lot of distraction. Again, I would say some part of this is because of the COVID-19. Remember, my children, I don't have babysitting support. I have to teach my child his home-based learning lessons and things like that. So some of the challenges include distraction at home. Some people still like to have a proper collaboration with colleagues and clients. They will still want the human touch. Now, I think a lot of us are blessed. Many of us are blessed to be staying with our family. So working from home, the problem is distraction, but at least we don't feel lonely or isolation. Now, there will be some people who are working actually away from their home, from their home state. Like for example, they are from another province, another state. They come over to KL to work. Originally, they were from Negeri Sembilan, so they are always staying alone. So now, if all of a sudden you push them to work from home, they don't get to meet their colleague, they start to feel isolation, loneliness. And one of the terms that is coming out in the COVID-19 is what we call cabin fever. Okay, but cabin fever and isolation doesn't necessarily, it is not only when you don't stay. People can be staying with their family. So they stay with maybe they also stay with their spouses, their parents. But the truth is, in our human connection, we want friends. We want colleagues. Some of us cannot share we're not comfortable to share every tiny little thing with our parents, our spouse, our children. We will want to talk to people. But working remotely means I don't get to meet my colleagues more often. It might have some of the problems here. So now on the whole, by country, this is even a very good number. A few of this country actually start to see what are the benefits of working remotely. The highest advantage is more flexible scheduling. So instead of having to work on a fixed schedule, 9 to 5, 8 to 6 or so, people can choose to be more flexible in their skill. They do not need to travel, they do not need to commute. There is actually a lot of cost of saving, which I will give some example in a while. Now, this is actually an opportunity for us. So now, of course, there are reduced office politics. Now, this is actually a very good, able to live where they want to live. Right now, if KK is going to offer me a job next week in KL, in the past, I've got to think hard whether I want to leave Singapore and work in KL. But if KK right now want to offer me a job next week, he will say, Zephan, stay in Singapore. You can still work for me while you are staying in Singapore. KK, you got job opportunity, call me, yeah?
On.
Yeah, so I think these are some of the benefits that is good. Now, so I think this is my last slide. I'm not sure whether I'm biting too much time, but the challenges, and I'll just put a table here to give us some idea, very practical to our occupational safety and health practices. Now, let's think about it. The challenge of working from home is some of us are saying we can't do inspection and audit. We can't go to every employee's home to look at how they set up their computer, whether it's safe. There's going to be some risk. Today I have a very short time. We didn't really talk about what are the risks and hazards. Later I'll show you a website that you can get more resources. But certainly there is a challenge about us being safety officer, safety manager.
when all our employees are working at home, how do we do the inspection and audit? Not possible. It's not possible. However, the opportunity, I just want to compare directly. Yeah? All these are compared directly. The opportunity is all of us will also have the idea that this is a good time for our employee to train them to be more aware of health and safety. Not all of them will eventually permanently work from home, but this is a good opportunity to start talking to employees to take personal responsibility for health and safety. In the past, a lot of employees may say, my health and safety in my office is a safety officer's responsibility. If anything goes wrong, I trip and fall on my way to the pantry. That is because the cleaner didn't clean the floor. You know, but this is a good opportunity for us to bring the topic to every individual to say, hey, you've got to take personal responsibility for some health and safety. Not all, but some of these within your means. Now, another thing is, people are working in isolation. Lone worker. Lone worker is a topic we are saying that people work alone. They may not be able to get help fast enough. Now, this is a topic in America, in Australia, in UK, in where I'm educated and been doing work. We discuss a lot about lone worker policy. Does your company has implement good lone worker policy? Now, but when I see in Asia Pac, a lot of company goes like, no, we've got better problem to solve. This, our worker can take care of themselves. But this is an opportunity for us to start talking to our bosses, our management that, hey, we've got to deal with this. We've got to deal with lone worker. What if our staff are working alone at home and all that? So this is an opportunity to start thinking about lone worker policy, and we can further expand to benefit other forms of remote working. Remote working could be working while travel, people who have to work alone and things like that. So it's an opportunity for health and safety professionals like us to go to our management, and finally, maybe the last 5 years, we have been trying to convince our CEO to give some budget, to give some money for lone working policy. Now is the time, because it is a situation. The challenges of working from home is there is a reduced, people cannot meet in person discussion. It becomes more effort. There is we may not be able to if I need an expert from Hong Kong to come to Singapore and all that, now they can't do it because of the partly COVID-19 and partly because the policy of working remotely and things like that. So multinational companies are now forced to stop travel. So when you need an expert in Denmark to provide support right now, they do it on the remote basis. So these are some of the challenge. So locally, we do not have enough expertise. Locally, we don't have expert. Now, whenever you see challenge, you see opportunity. What it means is it reduces work travel. For once, we don't have to worry so much about the safety about work traveling, lesser. Actually, we can have more frequent audit because in the past, if I want an auditor to come to do audit, probably I can only fly him once every 4 months because it's too expensive. If we start establishing safety audits and all this through Zoom, through remote working software, we can actually do it on a bi-monthly basis or monthly basis because the process is easier. Establishing the process is difficult, it's a challenge, but once you establish, it becomes a good opportunity. Some of my colleagues, not my direct colleague, but my professional friends, they are telling me, oh, in the past, I can only do audit in Singapore. Right now, over the last month, I'm beginning to do audit for Indonesia and in the comfort of my own home. So that is a good opportunity if you think about it. We need experts. So we need expertise from all over the place. Now, if we can't do it, it's an opportunity to train up our local staff. So as part of my job, we often are being fly over to some of the region to do because the site lack of expertise. Now is our opportunity. We say, hey, let's rely lesser on people flying in. Let's train up more local staff. Now, there is a big issue about definition of work injury when people work from home, but we are seeing more government and lawmaker are now making statement about this. So in very soon, our opportunity is we know clearer. 2 days ago in Singapore Parliament, our Minister of State for Manpower actually in our Parliament finally make this statement. Employers are still responsible for injury when working from home. Now that is a very big step. That is a step telling health and safety officer like us to go to our bosses and say, boss, we cannot ignore, we cannot just send people to work from home. We need to take care of our health and safety. So we need to think that is our opportunity. Now, I'm going to just finish with one example. Some are a little bit more technical. We think that working from home will have more resources for say work from home. For once, I have to do a lot more risk assessment. I've got to train people to do their own risk assessment and think about it. So example, if we want people to work, ergonomics is an issue. Do they have enough space? Do they have proper workstation? But the opportunity that I'm going to give you an example, and I'll finish with this. I use the ergonomics as an example. As part of my industrial hygiene profession, as part of ergonomics, I advise a lot of companies on ergonomics. I mean, this is not a very exhaustive, this is not very comprehensive, just a simple example. Now, right now, in order to assure good ergonomics in the office, we will buy a very expensive chair, $1,400 example, estimate. Now, this is good ergonomics. All the worker will be able to use it. Now, what is good about this chair? The good thing about an ergonomics chair is this one can adjust, this can be adjusted, the backrest can adjust, the height can adjust. It's about adjustability and fit. So when it is adjustability, you can fit a lot of people. Now, when we are seated in an office, we do not want to buy different types of chairs. We want the whole office to look like the same. We want to have fairness. Because if our union representative will give us a trouble. If you go to an office, certain people got chair A, certain people got chair B, then this is going to be, of course, the director always has their director chair. The other executive got a simple chair. However, by and large, you maybe only have 2 or 3 different types of chair. But to ensure good ergonomics, we want to fit individual. As a result, we need a chair with a lot of adjustability. As a result, it becomes very expensive. But when we go to work from home, are these good chairs? As an ergonomist, I tell you, yes, they are good chairs. They are very cheap. But why are they good? Because they are tailor-made. As long as this chair can support my back, as long as this chair can support my weight, the seat height is good, the depth is good, the width is good, it's good for me. I do not need a $1,400 chair. I can use an $80 chair. But why in the office I need $1,400? Because it's not only bought for me, it's bought for a whole group of people. People come and use and go. That's the reason. Now the durability, of course, this chair can last for 5 years, definitely, or 10 years. But maybe this chair is only good for 2 years. But no matter how you compare the number, I can change 4 or 5 over the next 10 years. So it still makes sense. A lot of cost reduction. Good ergonomics is not the chair. Good ergonomics is it fits the individual. We got to train people not to sit for long. We need to ask them to move more often. As long as it can support the weight of the person, it's good enough. So if right now we go to work from home, we will be able to reduce the cost from here to here. person A use this, person B use this, C and D use D, E and F use this. It's all fine, but it doesn't create the issue about biasness. Why my colleague get this chair? Why I get this chair? Which is a big issue if we come together in the same workspace. But in terms of good ergonomics, this can support good ergonomics without the cost. So with the reduction in cost, these are good resources for other controls, other health and safety controls. So these are the opportunities for us, which we need to uncover and discover. Of course, in COVID-19, a lot of companies don't even buy this chair for their staff. But when after this pandemic, if companies are going to implement a lot more work from home, we can adopt this kind of approach to reduce costs and spend the resources wisely, not to save money for the company and then cut our health and safety budget, but the resources can be better used in other controls, in a better health promotion, a better benefit for workers and staff. So so this is just my institute. So when I share this slide, just so I come from the Institute of Occupational Medicine. So we are a WHO collaborating center for occupational health and some of the work we done. So visit our website. Last but not least, if you want to find out more, we actually have a project, a website called Safe Home Working. Is a completely free resources. We publish information about safe home working, safe remote working. So do visit the website, volunteer for us, or this is purely a non-profit project. And if you want to contribute anything to this initiative, please contact us through the website. So open for question or feedback.
Oh, thank you very much for the fruitful sharing, Zephan.
Yes.
It's very interesting for you to share the topics on working from home. There are plenty of questions, in fact. Can we ask Abdullah to switch on the mic to ask? Do you have a few questions? Interesting questions. Would you mind to switch on your mic? Abdullah, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hello, Abdurrahim. All right, it's okay then. I pick up a few questions. Do you think that our current WSH management system and ISO 45001 should have clauses to cover those working from home?
Okay, I think I do not think that there is need to have a specific update to the current management system standard. I mean, the standard document, because the standard document, especially the 45,000, is talking about company identifying the challenges and the opportunity. So the risk and opportunity. So if company starts to look at the new way of working, which is working from home, then they based on the existing standard, it's really about recognizing this as hazard, as risk, and deal with this hazard. Yes. So because the standard document for 45,000 is a standard like framework for management system. So individual company looking at the different types of work processes will do it. So I think the work from home, remote working starts to be identified as some of the risks and deal with it accordingly. I can't comment very much. I have to be very open. I'm not a management system expert. Yes, maybe someone else can enlighten me the actual standard, like where it sits. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic, Zephan. Abdul Rahim, I think I unmute your mic already. You can try to speak something. All right, Abdul Rahim, since something problem of his mic, no issue. Andrew, are you here? Actually, even your topic is fantastic. I tell you, our chat room is full already. Everybody discuss on your topic. And whatever question they list down, after that, you will answer him at the slide. Very good point. What I like is everybody have to become safety officer at home. They need to do their roles and responsibility.
Yes.
All right. So, CK, have you captured their question?
Yeah, the other question from Eugene. In Singapore context, how does the Employment Act comes in play when employees work from home?
Oh, okay. Currently, the working from home in Singapore, now, not only in Singapore, but in a lot of countries, the legislation framework for responsibility of employer is divided. I think one is called employer. Now, if I am an employee, I work for company A. Company A is my employer. In the course of doing my job, if I get injured, I get hurt, the employer has to be responsible. But there is a second role. If now I come into the company to work, there is a second role that company A adopt. We call it the occupier. So they own the building, they manage the floor condition, they manage the fire safety. So the employer, in a sense, has a second responsibility, but we call that occupier. They are the registered occupant owner of the workplace. So maybe in the workplace, when I walk to the pantry, I'm not working at that moment, I'm not performing work. I'm just walking to the toilet. I'm just walking to the car park to collect my car. I get tripped over. That while the employer can argue, oh, you are not doing work, I'm not going to be liable for this. However, this company is still responsible because he's the occupier of the workplace. He needs to maintain the workplace. Now, when we come to work from home, then it becomes very sensitive because you are the one, the individual is the one that maintains the home condition, the electrical safety. So the employer no longer takes the responsibility as the occupier. So that is a little bit of a debate. But I wrote a paper which will be just in a trade magazine when it's ready to publish. When it's already published, I'll share with you all. In there, I share a few of the case law in Australia and in Singapore that we have case precedents, past cases of claims that actually starts to define, even when someone works remotely, that is as part of what we call cost of employment, is part of working. So even though I am now tasked to, if the employer asks me to work from home, staying at the home to work throughout the whole period, that is part of cost, that is part of employment. One of the case, one of the most cited case happened in 2006 in Australia. So you have this lady, she was supposed to work, she works from home half the week, 2 to 3 days a week. So she fall down the stairs because her employer twice. First time she was supposed to go to collect some cough syrup. So she was walking down the stairs to the kitchen to take cough syrup, and she fall from the stairs. Second case, her employer instructed her to say, please lock your door when you do work, okay? Because recently it's unsafe in your neighborhood. So while she was already working, all of a sudden she remembered, oh, I forgot to lock my gate. So she ran down the stairs and guess what? She fell. So in these two cases, she was given the proper compensation. So we try to understand that some of these work from home incident or compensation claims, while they are in gray area, then we fall back into case law. And there are more than a few case law. There's also one case in Singapore, which is on remote working, where the judge actually sentenced in favor of the claimant. So when because I wrote a short article about this, I can share it with this group, with the organizer later when it's published.
Thank you. CK, any question?
One more last questions. Working from home, from Mr. Ao Beng Hui. So he's asking, working from home, does it mean that working 24 hours, 7 days a week? Some management do meetings at 8 or 9 p.m. in the evening, especially MNC. So what is your comment on this?
Okay. Oh, interesting. I had a student earlier, just 2 days ago, in one of my ex-students was saying that work from home means no work-life balance. Okay, during my Saturday talk, I will quote this. Yes, one of the challenge about working from home appear to be there is a lesser defined line about the work-life balance or time duration, which is not really true. Now, I can share with you some things. It boils down to discipline. It boils down to the individual discipline to really decide what are the days, what are the time that they are more efficient to work. Now, typically we are forced to work 8 to 5 in an office, but the truth is that may not be our most productive time. So the benefit, again, I use the idea, a challenge is a benefit, a challenge is the opportunity. The opportunity in working from home is I can now decide to wake up 5 a.m. and do my work from 5 to 10 in the morning, and that covers 5 hours of my job. Waking up at 5 a.m., nobody will say that is unhealthy because I will sleep earlier at night. And that's actually a very healthy way if we look at circadian rhythm when the sun comes up. So first is a personal discipline. Now, there are some remote software, some online software are now, companies are adopting for screen time. That means record the number of hours you are in front of your screen, that you are actually working your screen. It's not as simple as just switching on your computer, but the activity, your mouse, how much you type, that really defines how much time you work. Now, from one perspective, that is how employer spy on you to say, are you doing your job? Another opportunity is, it really tell yourself you have been looking at the screen for too long. It also tells you you have been overworking. It also tells you you are not very productive. You are serving the net for so long. For you actually, while you say you work for 5 hours, you spend 3 hours on Chrome. I saw your YouTube open for 4 hours. So now, I think more and more of such software is going to come out as part of HR monitoring workers, employee, whether they work. If we take it positively, it also becomes a very good data for the individual to say how to improve my productivity. How do I make sure, look at my work pattern and I don't overwork? And those data can actually say, looking at the different time that I work, looking at the different time at work, which is my most productive way. So in my own practice, when I on the Chrome, I have a timer that I can click start. So once I start, it monitors for the next 1 hour what I'm doing. It's now my boss is not tracking on me. I track myself, but I review it every week to say, okay, Zephan, you're spending too much time on Netflix. Please off it. the kind of thing. So now, but working from home country and home state, what it means is we may have other requirements of a time zone. Like in Singapore, I'm expected to deliver a training for Middle East, for UK. Like I do a training for my staff based in UK. I have to end up working to 11 p.m. At certain time. So yes, remote working, because you're working remotely, I don't travel to UK now. In Singapore, I do it, I end up doing it at night. But if you think about it, if I got to do the training and fly 15 hours to UK to do that, I will have jet lag. So if we weigh the thing, it will be a few days which I may have to do 3 or 4 days night I can rest earlier in the evening. So a bit of shift work, not permanent, but it reduces my need to fly 15 hours, 30 hours to and fro. So we balance that.
All right. Lim, I think question quick enough?
Yeah. That should be good enough already, because if we actually time's up for this session.
Fantastic topic, this one. Zephan is good.
I will share the
So,
slides and the article with the organizer. Maybe the organizer can share to everyone.
Yeah, that's great.
Abdul Rahim is a civil student last time. Abdul Rahim right at the chapter. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He recognized you. So he inquired on this is Singapore CPU and SDU as well, the points. So I just say maybe the next webinar we can look for this, or coming August or September. All right, I pass back for the floor for CK Lim. So for the next, what is that, CK Lim?
Yeah, our next session should be the public forum and professional sharing. Will be more on discussion forum. So anybody would like to raise any topic to share over here, including work from home, we can continue on from the topic just now.
Anyone would like to switch on the mic and discuss with our speaker and host and co-host? Dato Gana, are you here? All right, Lim, I think for the next slide, we can go on for introduce our next webinar date, July.
Okay, thank you. It has been a pleasure being with us.
Thank you, Zephan. Fantastic topic.
And especially thanks to all the speakers for spending their efforts and time to share with us their thoughts, their experience, as well as their knowledge with us. So with that, we'd like to introduce our upcoming seminar, which has been scheduled on the 4th of July, Saturday, first Saturday of the month in the July. So same time, so we'll be seeing. So we have invited from 3 speakers from Hong Kong and then 1 speaker from Malaysia. So they are Mr. Cheng Hao Wai from Hong Kong, Mr. Muhammad Anwar bin Mb. He's the Deputy Director General of DOSH on Occupational Health Divisions. And Miss Adafong Yin Sun, she's from Hong Kong. And also Engineer Conrad Fong from Hong Kong as well. So would you mind to scan to register for the next sections? So take up your phone and scan on the QR code to register for the next sessions. And we will probably add in another speaker tentatively. So they want to be announced later on. These are the confirmed speaker.
I give some time, let everybody have a scan. If you guys think this good webinar for you, you can register now. Get the link, you save the link. Is it function for this link, everyone?
So it is function. Please put the icon of good at the bottom of the bar. You just click reactions. From reactions, just press good, so that we can see that people are responding. All right, great. So we have seen a lot of good.
Right, I think okay for next.
Okay, next will be please like us on our Facebook. So this is our Facebook page. So do scan one more time to click into the link, and then also like our Facebook. From there, if you have any questions, you want to raise any question, you can actually drop a comment over there. So if you would like, if you find that this webinar is very beneficial to you, please also share with others. So we appreciate for your efforts in spreading around.
Please give good comment for us. We're trying our best. And from the chat bar, I see someone is represent from IAEM. If I'm not wrong, IAEM is an International Association of Emergency Manager. So yes, interesting. You can contact me. you can contact KK so we can discuss later for the incoming webinar for the paper.
Or you may email to office@srdi.hongkong, or personally you can text to Mr. KK or me to further elaborate on that. All right, so it's very ready.
Still haven't closed yet, guys. We still have few slides. Give me some time. I think everyone is good enough time for this page. Lim, next.
All right.
Right, I explain some, elaborate some. For this webinar, June, we are approved from Malaysia CIDB 5 CCD points. And for the JKKB CEP points, we still pending for June and July. The proposal is for this seminar, June, and together with July, if you attend both seminar, this webinar, you can get 8 CV points, right? For regarding on May, so May, the webinar we have done, we still have discussion technically with DOSH Malaysia. So for those Malaysia, you are require this CB point for attended on May already. Kindly contact KK. All right. For those Singapore and other country or Hong Kong, you guys already attend without the cert. So please email to SRDI and request say so. You no need CP. Please proceed for the cert. So I believe that Dr. CM Hall will be immediate proceed the cert for you. Okay, and hopefully I can get cooperation from Zephan for this Singapore points. We try to achieve for Singaporean benefit as well this webinar. Nice. Anything more? CK?
Yeah.
So I think before closing, I would like to invite Malaysia Occupational Safety and Health Practitioner Association, MOSHPA, Dato Kanagaraja Raman. Do you mind come in and have a closing for us?
Yeah,
are you here?
Can you all hear me?
Yes,
okay.
I can hear you, Dato Kana. How are you?
Yes, how are you?
Thank you, thank you. Okay, I think we are in the noon, almost 1 o'clock now. Today's session, I think morning session, the second session we had, I think it was a very fruitful one. Of course, even there, everybody I think enjoyed, and then it was a very fruitful, and the topics were very, very interesting. As I think the organizers would like to thank CM Ho for SRDI, and also the counterpartner from Malaysia, PKC, for organizing such an event. Although it's on a Wednesday, but the participation was very good. And then, okay, regards to the CP points of for Malaysians, I think as we promised for the 5 CP point for the first session, I think we are still at the negotiation. But then DOSH has already clarified to us that they will give 8 CP points for the 2 continuous sessions. I think still again we have a number of hours to be completed. That you can contact directly to KK and get this. But the points will be there for these 2 sessions. Definitely the points are there. Because the first speaker for today was Zailee, who's none other than is our Deputy Director General of DOSH. And then he has already seen our program and he has enjoyed and he has seen how fruitful it is. So the points shouldn't be a problem. So again, to thank the panels, or the first speaker was Zailee, who's the Deputy DOSH Director. I think he gave on a topic on a neo and normal Malaysian very well, that the current ongoing, of course, in the time of COVID, what are the things we can achieve and all that. So it was an interesting topic. We thank the Deputy Director General Zailee for taking his time on Saturday, and I understand that he leave his house and go to the office, and he was doing his presentation from his office. which I think he has to travel about a few hours to go to his office. But thank you very much for taking the time. Secondly, I think it was from Professor Wong, Chi-Mei. Of course, I was listening to her papers and all that. It was more to labor law and then on union matters and all that. What I liked there was, of course, one of the things we catch, it was the poster presentations, the posters which he has created. I think even my association like MOSHPA, I think take the idea from there. We are want to create for this year the posters, which are like a cartoonic form, which is eye-catching. So we can distribute all to the project sites, all the construction sites, these posters, which will one look at it, I think they will get the entire message. In fact, we are also doing, My Heart, My Health book, which is also a cartoonic form. We are going to create the book, redo the edition, and pass it around to all the authorities and all the organizations in Malaysia. That is one point where I thought, thank you very much, Professor. Thirdly, I think Mr. Jacky Leung, of course, he talked on the radiation matters. Radiation, which is, although now in the COVID time, but radiation issues are big, and then it's ongoing. So I think there was like little bit technical issues there where the sound system did not was in our favor. But then the message was very clear, and we have got the right message. So thank you again, Mr. John. Finally, we come. That was one topic. I think the flow was just like, it's not like he's reading text or anything like that. It was just an ongoing flow. And Mr. Zephan, I thought when I were in any office or anywhere, I just sit in one chair, just comfortably, just for sitting purpose. But I never knew there were so many issues or so many hidden things in sitting in one chair. But after listening to you, I think there are so many facts. Hopefully, I think KK can get me a good comfortable chair when I go to the office. I think I will prefer the number one.
You do an inspection
so I won't have this. Okay, I won't have this economic problems. But I think, Zephan, I think we don't want you to stop here alone. But maybe in our next sessions, you should come to the presentation and give us elaborate more on your topic. Maybe not economic, but some other things. So, well, thank you very much also, Zephan. I would like to see you after the COVID in Malaysia. Go for a coffee here. But we will be coming to Singapore.
Yeah. All right.
That's all I think from me for thanking today's panel speakers as well as the organizer, and it was very clear. And then we will still be room. I think CMO has not.
Dato is unmute. You need to unmute. Sorry, some technical issue. Wait for a while. Dato, where are you?
Dato.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just now is you mute your mic. Just now.
Can
Okay, can.
But I didn't mute when I started talking, right?
No, it's okay. Last part only.
Only last part, huh? Otherwise, I will be just talking and nobody listening.
No problem.
Right. Okay, Mr. Wong, how are you, Mr. Wong? Wong Wachai?
Preparing for
right,
it.
so I think now I would like to thanks a lot for everybody, your participant for today, and Dato make a closing for us. Do you mind, guys? Today I supposed to have 150. Now almost closing. There go out about 40%. Can you on your camera? We can
you
take a
mind to
picture.
switch on your camera?
When we work from home, we listen from home. Also, we can take a picture from screen. Do you mind, guys? On your camera?
Yeah, there are people start switching on. Yeah,
It's
you
good.
just take a few
It's
minutes
good.
time. Great.
So
Thank you
you can
everyone.
on your camera, put your thumbs up, or you can click on the bar. They have reaction. They have a thumb. You can see. So at least give us some energy boost. For incoming webinar, we will invite more powerful guys or local authority from Malaysia, Singapore, or Hong Kong. We're targeting in Malaysia. We will have a series every month. We will invite a director for JKKP from every state. But we still invitation, waiting response. So hopefully everyone okay. Is it okay, everyone? On your camera?
Yeah, Mr. CMO.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
you
okay.
can take some picture. No issue. You
Mr.
guys
CM.
can.
Mr. CMO, you have a
all together.
Yeah.
We'll give a big applause.
you have got a good haircut.
Everyone effort and also actively participating in our presentation and during Q&A section. Thank you everyone.
I think Dr. CM Ho, I think today webinar we can let go for the participant. Thanks a lot. Am I right?
Thank you.
And we can balance field for the speaker or co-organizer and host and Dato Gana and speaker. We can come here and sitting some discussion.
Yes.
Or anyone want to discuss with us as well? No issue.
Yeah, the next one I'll come with my haircut, proper haircut. I think Mr. CMO, you got a good haircut. We still cannot go to the salon. Waiting to have a good haircut.
Yes.
We open to the floor. Whoever wants to speak, he can switch on the mic. No, you can.
Mr. Wong, how are you? Wong Wa Chai, our MOSHPA Deputy President. Where are you? I saw your picture. Why you don't want to unmute your mic?
You have not mute. Your mic.
Okay,
your
just
mic.
now cannot mute.
I listen your voice already. CM Ho is greeting you.
Yes.
Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, how are you? Yeah, I'm waiting for the bakute.
Waiting for Bakute anytime. Come and get it.
Low flight.
Andrew is here. Is Andrew ROG here?
Yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you KK. Thank you Dato Gana. Thank you CK. Thank you Wong Wai Chai. Yeah, thank you everyone.
Thank you, CMO.
Looking forward to see you all again in
Thank you,
our
Zephan.
July and August event. Those who have applied a CPT certificate, we will issue you the certificate next week. But if you want a CEP certificate, I will liaise with KKC and then we will issue you the CEP as approved by the doors a bit later. Is that right, KK?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes.
So maybe today we have successfully done about 3.5 hours webinar, and hopefully incoming I will may increase another one to achieve 4 hours. And after listen Zephan Chan to talk, I believe that next webinar, every speaker after talk, we need to stand up for a while, do some exercise, and then come back. The economic issue.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, it's good point for us. Even we are the OSH practitioner, we need to practice as well.
Yes.
Right. So guys, hope you enjoy this webinar. Give some comments.
See you next month. See you next month.
Thank you, CM Ho and Kana and Mawajai.
Bye.
And everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Those participants at our group chat there and give comment and give good info. That's good. Anything you guys want to share with us, just contact us. Right.
Carry your pen, the pen.